So I'm in my car right now. I got a call from an old friend of mine, and they had moved away, right? So they called me up and they're like, "Hey, I'm down here in National City, hanging out, and if you're available, we want to meet up." So I said, "Heck yes!" I said, "Yes, definitely." So I did a graveyard shift the night before, and oh my gosh, I could hardly wake up. So I made myself wake up, splashed some cold water on my face, and jumped in the shower and just hurried up. So I'm headed over to our meetup place, and I'm really excited about talking about some videography projects in way of documenting the ministry and how kind of like, my story and the story of how, all of the Heart of the City San Diego ministry has come to be, right? And it really, it's just a God thing. And basically I was broken, and I decided one day I'm just going to go down and do a Bible study at the park here in National City. And lo and behold, active military duty personnel came. We had a picnic, we had a barbecue. It turned into a veterans barbecue, from the idea that my friend Al Sugi had, and he's a veteran. And so they're very, very young ones though. So I'm an older lady, right? And I'm a minister, been a minister for a long time, zillion years. And these are young men that are just my son's age, and they're going through things that are very traumatic. And they don't like to use words like post-traumatic stress disorder. They don't want a disorder labeled over them. They don't want that label of weakness over them. Some are active duty and others are veterans. It kind of has this weakness label, and these are not weak people. Okay, they're not. They've done some hard things, and really, I just had like this mama's heart, right? They call me the madre, and I just had a mama's heart, and I just thought, my goodness, they're kind of just out there, with kind of really no direction, and we started just hanging out, really, and there was no like real biblical theology training or anything like that. It was basically just me being available for prayer, praying over them, letting them talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. Sometimes they were talking about problems, some family issues or whatever. Some were talking about things that happened in the military, very, very traumatic things that happened in the military. Others just came to eat, right? And just listened, and it just was this kind of safe place to be, really. I think that's the main key element to what we were doing. Is just, there were no labels. It was just a safe place, and some place to have a goal to meet to, right? An appointment, a expectation to be at, something to look forward to, kind of thing, right? I believe that was the element to the whole ministry thing. I think we kind of, when we become ministers, we kind of put it about ourselves, right? How well can we minister? And how well do we know the Word of God? And how anointed are we? And it becomes an ego trip, to be honest. when actually it's not even about you at all. There's nothing that was about me at all in this whole thing. I was the least able to put this together, and at the time that I put it together, definitely was going through a lot. And so we became comrades, we became team members, we became family. And everybody, when you're in the military, you don't stay in one spot for a long time. And these were young men who, they were newly veterans. They weren't like long-time veterans because they're still very young, but they, they were in the place of still being young, starting a family, or not even starting a family yet, and buying a home, and so they were not permanently in a place, which it's hardly ever like that. And so some moved away, they rehoused, they relocated. One of them bought a home, and then for me it's like, it's like empty nest again, right? Like I found someone to take care of, and now it's empty nest again. If you don't know, the term empty nesting is when you're a mother and your kids grow up and they move away and they go off to college, they go out, and then you don't know like what to do with your time after that, because you've been taking care of kids pretty much your whole life. So you've been caring for someone for a long time, right? Providing food, providing shelter and love and support and all the things that moms do, and then suddenly that's gone, and it really seems like sudden, right? And so then you're left like with what to do next kind of feeling, and so I had to go through that again because they all moved away and stuff. And then like kids do, although these weren't kids, these are young men, that I get a call and they're like, hey, I bought my house and this, and you're all excited, and I'm like, what? How exciting, right? And so now they're at the place where they've settled, and people are contacting me again, plus after the shutdown of the whole pandemic as well. So now it's kind of a regrouping and a kind of looking forward to what the next stage is. And that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to talk about all that.